blokes, Oddworld inhabitants have just literally minutes ago released the first ever gameplay footage of Oddworld Soulstorm in a brand new trailer, which has also narrowed down the release date to early 2020. A link to it is in the description, and quite frankly I'm pretty impressed with it really. It looks pretty freaking good, and what an explosive trailer it is, quite literally. I'll bring up a few points just of my initial reactions, both positive and negative, but it's mostly positive to be fair. I liked it quite a bit. Firstly, there's captions that play all throughout the gameplay, so I'll compile all the text that comes up and read it as though it were one sentence. Oddworld Inhabitants presents the all-new second episode of the Oddworld quintology epic, The Legend of a Slave on the brink of extinction, a fugitive on the run who wakes the innocent and the powerful against all odds and leads them to freedom to ignite a revolution, looting, crafting, and battling their way through an industrial hell on a scavenger's economy. After 15 million games sold, Abe is back. Oddworld Soulstorm, releasing early 2020. For some reason, "and the powerful" is on screen for literally a second before going to the next caption, which is kind of weird, and it shows Alf walking pissed off for some reason. The gameplay looks pretty good really, at least it's a platformer like the original games, which is a good sign, but it also seems like it will also require a lot more ingenuity than before, and also allow you to fight back properly against the sligs, which is something I always wanted to do as a kid when playing Abe's Odyssey and Abe's Exodus. It certainly looks quite like traditional Oddworld to me, I think more so than New and Tasty did, but maybe I'm wrong about that, we haven't seen much of it after all. The map design looks vast, complicated, and very well done, from what we've seen at least. The cinematics in the game are also looking very good. The industrial setting, the factories, all that sort of thing, very traditional for Oddworld. Matches much more in line with the supposed dark tone of Soulstorm than the desert setting of the cinematic trailer released at the Game Developers Conference this year. It seems to be in pretty good quality, and the presumably Comet to Pop train looks fantastic. The sligs in the gameplay trailer sounded like the ones from New and Tasty. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think the sligs in that game, I felt at least, had a way higher pitched voices than the voices in the old games.
Yo, what up?
I personally preferred the sound of the ones from the originals.
If you have any further questions, please feel free to pull the lever to your right.
Also, maybe these are just placeholder sounds, but it doesn't really matter if they're not, I suppose it's just a personal preference. Actually, it does seem to me like the Oddworld Soulstorm gameplay is heavily inspired, or at least supported by the gameplay of Oddworld New and Tasty. If you have a look for a second, you can even see one of those checkpoint things from New and Tasty, so that's quite interesting, I guess. I wasn't a fan of the gameplay in New and Tasty, and I found it really buggy, but with 3 years of development or so, I'd imagine Oddworld Inhabitants would have improved it significantly if it is based on the New and Tasty gameplay, and I'd guess a lot of those bugs are gone. One thing that wasn't a bug, I believe, but was just something that annoyed me a bit, for example, in New and Tasty, how the Mudokons that were following you would just line up in a neat line behind you. I always found that weird and unrealistic, but it looks like it's something that's been changed in Oddworld Soulstorm, so that's a good sign that while it might be supported by the New and Tasty gameplay style, it will hopefully be immensely improved. Abe is seen properly for the first time, and the first thing I noticed is that his eyes are like saucers. I've been mentioning the design changes before and all that, and how I'm kind of against it, but this is simply the aesthetic that they're going for now. I consider it a lot more cartoony than the original style, but if that's what they're going for, then that's fine, I guess. But you know what, I think you can tell it's Abe even if it didn't have the "Abe is back" in big letters next to him, so that's fair enough, I guess. One interesting thing I noticed is that in the gameplay, at certain points, it showed a tag above Abe pointing down at him and saying Abe. This suggests to me that either they're very concerned that you're going to forget the main character's name, or that you get to choose who you play as, and play as different characters perhaps. Some people previously had suggested that Toby and Alf might be playable characters, and this would seem to back up that theory. Now blokes, I've just found out that after I've made all these judgments and whatever on the trailer, I've just found out that demos of Oddworld Soulstorm have been released to various media sources and news publications, and as a result a ton of articles on Oddworld Soulstorm have been released, showing in detail the gameplay. There is so much to be going through. I'm not going to do it all now, but I'm going to be very busy today, I reckon. It's really good to see some solid progress on Oddworld Soulstorm. Lorne Allen had said that hopefully they'd get gameplay to us soon, and it looks like they finally delivered. It's a really good sign that Oddworld Inhabitants now have a slightly more solid release date, and are now finally comfortable with showing us gameplay of Oddworld Soulstorm.
Hello, follow me. Ooh.